Hi. So, I guess I'd like to begin this commentary by thanking all the people that came out to the Black Box presentations today. Because I know for me specifically, and I'm sure for everyone else, it's just really helpful to be able to present to a live audience. And you're presenting this idea that you've been working on for the last half year. Um, and you're kind of expressing your ideas, figuring out where you can go with it moving forward, figuring out what's interesting to people. So I think it's just overall a learning experience for everyone, and it's really beneficial. Moving on to the actual presentation, I think it's safe to assume that I learned a ton from this whole process. I learned about, what holes in my argument, what I need to further develop, directions I can go. Um, and I think the audience participation, giving suggestions, asking questions, kind of helped me create a map in my mind of where I can go with this, what's interesting to the audience, and what I can focus on moving forward. Um, and specifically just questions about the topic, different directions that I could go, some of the confusing stuff. It helps me figure out, what do I need to clarify? What do I need to elaborate on more? What do I need to research more? Because frankly, I haven't done everything that I need to have this fully fleshed out. Um, and I think it's just pretty clear that, I need to be able to elaborate more and explain everything in depth, at least in the essay, where I have pretty much as much space as I want to explain everything. Um, but at the same time, in my presentation next year, I need to be able to explain everything well enough so everyone can comprehend it fast enough to where I can cover all the important topics that I need to and that I want to. Um, so moving forward, I think this presentation as a process was really helpful for me for figuring out, what I can do to improve next time, which is the big one. And on the topic of body language, I think body language is noticeable by the presenters in a lot of different ways. Like you can always tell if people are looking around while you're presenting. You can kind of tell like, oh, they want to go on to a next one, so speed it up or whatever. Or like if they're nodding, participating, they're into it or whatever. Um, so I think that was really helpful for me to understand what parts are kind of sluggish and what parts are really interesting to people to listen to. Um, so that was really beneficial to me as well. So as I said earlier, this whole process helped me learn a lot, but I think the most valuable thing I learned is where to focus my time. And what I could tell from audience reactions and whatnot is that the important stuff, such as the court cases, the legislation, um, while that's really important, what's really interesting to audiences is the stuff that directly applies to them, like cases involving the Alexa or smartphones or email, stuff that is directly involved in the everyday life of a student, because that's what pertains to them and that's what they're going to be interested in. Um, I think a lot of people couldn't care less about some 1960s court case. Uh, but whether or not the government is watching their cell phone activity, that's something that people, uh, I think, should have an interest in because it directly impacts them. So overall, it was obviously really beneficial for me and probably everyone. I think, learning a lot from questions, comments, and body language, that kind of indicates to me what's interesting, what's not interesting, what I need to focus on more, what I need to flesh out more, and what I need to research more. Additionally, I figured out a lot of different directions I can moving forward, and kind of establish further in my mind and for the audience, because there's some stuff that I still don't know and I still need to research. So overall, helpful.